So today we're going to do a bit of a round. If you have your teal hymnal with you, it's 10:03, and the words will be put on the screen. There's 3 parts, so we'll teach you the 3 parts first, and then we'll all do it together. And today we're going to try something that I haven't seen done here, which is instead of dividing by clean sections, we're going to divide by voice types. So if you have a low voice, you can go with me. If you have a higher voice, you can go with Kristen here. And then Micah, what would you say, middle? Yeah, middle voices or people feeling adventurous can go with the third voice. And if anyone's especially musical and you don't need to be taught a song, you can go ahead and do the 4th part by yourself. But, not by yourself, but whoever is singing it with you. So we'll sing the parts. Could you give me the first note? Okay, so the first part is, where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Great. Okay, so now the second part, Kristen's going to teach you.
We come from, where do we come from?
And then we got the third part.
Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery.
All right, so first we'll all sing it together and then we'll start splitting off and then we'll come back together. You can experiment, you can switch between parts. This is intended to be a very fluid exercise. Where do we come from?
What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
Thank you so much for participating.
Welcome to the Second Unitarian Church. I am Diane Sander, a member of the Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she and her. Today we're meeting in person at the Admiral at the Lake, the YOUU Sanctuary, and continuing to meet virtually via Zoom. We're glad you are here, whichever way you are joining. If you are in the sanctuary and would like the benefit of noise-canceling headphones, we have a pair for adults and a pair for children, and you can please see our AV tech team at the back. As we are navigating different needs for health and wellness, particularly related to COVID, we welcome you to wear a mask. We have masks available at the table as you enter the building. We especially welcome newcomers and visitors this morning. Finding a new community and making new connections can be challenging. Please know that we are excited to have you here and look forward to getting to know you. If you would like, there are blue mugs available during coffee hour so you can use them to signal that you would like others to come up and say hello. Not sure what to say? The Drum Allies group has come up with a question each week to help spark conversation. You can find the question posted on the coffee table. For the month of March, we are exploring having coffee hours split between the loft and the Palmer Room. This allows for less noise and more space for all who choose to stay after service, especially our children. Additionally, we always need people in the kitchen after coffee hour, and that's a great place to see old friends and meet new ones. Friends, we want to remind everyone that the sounds of children are always welcome during our service. Our worship today is led by Reverend Jason Lydon, along with Harris McKee as worship associate. Music is provided by the music ministry volunteers. Our time together requires a large group of people who make possible the worship, the religious education, music, and technical production. Now, during our pledge season, we have been hearing from individuals in our church about why they give to support our ministries. This morning, we have some words from Julia.
Good morning. I am so nervous standing up here. So I wrote something, don't know what I did with it, so I'm just going to wing it. I first came here the Sunday after 9/11 with my then 4-year-old son. I think he was going to be 5. And I was raised Roman Catholic and had to go to church every Sunday, usually Saturday evening because that was shorter. And I wasn't particularly interested in religion after that experience. But after 9/11, I thought, my son needs to have some kind of grounding so that he can decide what he wants to do in the future. And the religious education that he got here, he has since decided that he wants to be unchurched, but I feel better knowing that he had the experience here. And speaking for myself, I started at YOUU, I went to DuPage YOUU, I went to Unitarian Church of Evanston, and every single time I came back to Second Unitarian, because this is my community. These people here, all of you, you are my community, you are my family. So that's why I pledge. Thank you.
Thank you. As we greet our neighbors this morning, let us do it by elbow bumps. So now's the time to greet your neighbors.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. a community of children, youth, and adults. A people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share, where we keep love at the center. Whether you are joining us for the first time or for the 1,000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God some of the time, all of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. Whatever your race, whomever you love, whichever way you move in the world, however much money is in your pocket, you are welcome here. I invite you, when you are ready, to take a breath in and out. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our congregational hymn, Spirit of Life. Please remain risen and join me in reciting our covenant. We covenant to build a community that challenges us to grow and empowers us to honor the truth within ourselves. We will be generous with our gifts and honest in our communication, holding faithful to a love that embraces both diversity and conflict. Called by our living tradition, we will nurture spirituality within a vision of the eternal, living out our eternal vision through struggles for justice and acts of compassion.
Be seated. In just a moment, Malachi here in the sanctuary and Laura at the Admiral will light our chalices, the symbol of our faith. We light our chalices this morning with these words from Alan Turing, the father of computer science. These are words he wrote about what humans can do that machines will never be able to. Be kind, resourceful, beautiful, friendly, have initiative, have a sense of humor, tell right from wrong, make mistakes, fall in love, enjoy strawberries and cream, make someone fall in love with it, learn from experience, use words properly, be the subject of its own thoughts, have as much diversity of behavior as humanity, and do something truly new. As we consider the possibilities of technology this morning, may this flame, the beacon of our values, guide us.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine grows everywhere.
the chancel, please. I'd love to see you all as you choose. I'm going to do some standing today so that I can see everybody, but somewhere there's a marker in my pocket and it seems to have disappeared. Do I have a whole different pair of pants? Is that what you said? No, just one pair of pants this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Alicia saved the day. So, who here in this group has heard of what AI is? Almost everybody. What does AI mean? What's it stand for? It's cool. Oh, sorry. All right, Lumi. What does AI stand for?
Like not really real.
Not really real. What do the letters stand for? Yes.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Indeed. Yes. Another piece.
The inventors of the AI are tricking people because the AI isn't actually intelligent.
AI isn't actually intelligence. It's what?
It's like randomly putting words together based on what you gave it. It's like when you pull a lever and the wheel spins and it randomly chooses a word. It's doing that over and over in under a second.
Okay. Lots of lever pulling and putting words together. That's a big part of what AI is. Well, what I want you to tell me, because I already heard somebody say that artificial intelligence isn't actually intelligence. Would you say that humans are intelligent? Yes.
But they don't know everything.
Humans don't know everything? I mean, I do. No? You don't think so? Okay. I suppose not. So we're going to say intelligence is something that humans have. And just so you know, I'm not here to disagree with you, and neither are the adults, so we're just going to kind of include what you say, and we're going to go with that today. So humans are intelligent, and robots are not. What other things are humans? Yes. Blood, yes. Malachi, what do you think? Humans have that robots don't.
Humans have brains and robots don't.
Brains, indeed. Yes, my friend.
So robots do so robots kind of like move along, but we don't have robots, but it's kind of hard to have a remote control, and I don't know how to move a robot yet.
Yeah, so humans don't have a remote control, right? And robots can, and it's also hard to use the remote control. That's what I was hearing. Okay, absolutely. All right, now tell me something that robots can do that humans can't do. Yeah. Be deadpan? You've really ruined my entire humor, but that's okay. Be deadpan. What else? What else can robots do that humans can't? Mal.
Robots can climb up more than humans can.
They can climb more than humans can? Is that what you said? Climb more. Great. Anything? Yeah?
They can explore like very deep under the ocean if they're built right. That's the thing humans can't do.
Explore deep under the ocean. Yeah.
It can help us discover cures for things because you can discover cures deep in the ocean.
Discover some cures that humans can't? All right. What can humans and robots do? Yeah. Walk. What else? Yeah. Go for it.
They can like look around and tell where they are. They can identify where they are.
Identify where they are. Great. And one more that humans and robots can do. Yes.
They can both give birth.
They can both get what? Burned. Sure. So like one can catch on fire. Sure, absolutely. Or like I can get a sunburn. I'm not so sure a robot can get a sunburn, but maybe we're going with it. Oil burns. So as Unitarian Universalists, one of the things that we say is that all humans have inherent worth and dignity. Just by existing, we are worthy in and of ourselves. And so one of the things that I think is really important for us to remember as Unitarian Universalists is no matter what AI can do, no matter how evolved it gets, it doesn't, like us as humans, have the same way of being understood to have the same worth and dignity as humans do. They might be intelligent, they might have information, but robots are not the same as people. And I can see the ways that you think they're not the same as people, and yet there are things we both can do. So thank you all. We're still learning together the differences between robots and humans. We are figuring out what we do similarly, and my hope is that we can keep asking those questions together. And so with that, I want to invite everyone to join in singing our young people off to class. I wonder how you all would have answered those questions similarly or differently, and how you might have been sitting in your seat thinking, no, I don't agree with you. Or you were thinking, that's exactly right. So I'm curious what is in your minds. So as you all well know, and we are talking a lot about during our pledge season, we each make a commitment to support the ministry of this church year after year. And in addition to this commitment that we make to financially resource this community, we also take a collection on Sunday morning so that we can share with those who are doing justice work well beyond our walls. In just a moment, you will see a phone number on your screen, which you can use for text to give. And for those of us gathered in the sanctuary, plates will be coming around into which you can put your change, your cash, or your checks. And for the month of March, we have been sharing our plate with Trans Up Front, an advocacy and education organization in Illinois, building up the power of transgender communities and allies in the struggle for justice, something that could not be more important right now. And so in a moment, you will be asked to give as generously as you can. And before that, Alicia and I have a celebration this morning of our social justice warriors at YOUU. And so, Alicia, please join me on the chancel.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to give you a couple of social justice activity updates first. I'd like to invite you to join our monthly social justice ministry monthly meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Zoom. This is where we discuss and plan our YOUU social justice activities. Next Saturday, March 28th, is the third National No Kings Day, and there are activities planned all over Chicago so that we can all gather together on one day to make our voices heard and let the powers know that we will not be silent while the administration continues its authoritarian control and its dismantling of our rights. The three ones that I am aware of that YOUU members are participating in is the big Chicago rally downtown, of course, which starts at 1:30 in Grant Park. The 44th Ward is having a protest along Sheridan from noon to 2. And some YOUU members up at the Admiral are helping to organize another protest along Foster Avenue east of Sheridan. So if you'd like more information on any of these activities or how to get involved, please let me know and I'd be happy to point you in the right direction. And now I'd like to introduce you to the social justice warriors of Second Unitarian in 2026. These are people who are helping with YOUU's social justice projects this year. So please come forward if you are willing and able as I call your name. So leading our night ministry project is Liesel, who's downstairs teaching. Leading our jail support project is Eli, who I think I saw, yes. Leading our Social Justice Mondays is Serena. Yeah. Leading the migrant assistance team is myself. And serving on our most recent sanctuary support team is Brenna, Janet, Sarah, Alexi, and Amanda. I don't know if any of them are here. And leading our drum allies and the anti-racial multicultural ministries are Belinda Brown, Curtis Smith, Karen Goldner, Tom Clues, and Pip Paris. Now I'd like to invite all the 2026 social justice warriors forward. If you have participated in jail support this year, come forward. If you have participated in night ministry meals, please come forward. If you have participated in migrant assistance activities this year, come on up. And if you have participated in Social Justice Mondays, please come forward. If you have participated in any drum or anti-racist activities, please come forward. Look at all of these amazing people who are engaged with social justice work here in our church. Let's please give them all a round of applause. Now, Reverend Jason has a few words.
One of the things that I think is so important for us as we frame social justice ministries at YOUU is that this is very similar to the ways in which we do religious education for our young people, centering the work of educating our youth and our youngest in the ministry of our church and the values of Unitarian Universalism. It's similar to the music ministries we have that shape and create and honor the ways in which we come together to worship, that lift up our voices and celebrate our Unitarian Universalism. Social justice is not a side part of Unitarian Universalism. It is part of the center of who we are as Unitarian Universalists. This is why we hear about it Sunday after Sunday. This is why we have such a large collection of people gathered here, because Unitarian Universalism calls us to act. Even those of you who are not in your, or who are still in your seats, one of the things I know is so true about us at Second Unitarian is that we are connected to justice work in other parts of our lives as well. And people come to YOUU to get our cups filled up, so that when we go back out into the world, we can give of our cups to others, so that we can shape the world around us in Unitarian Universalist values, in a centered vision of love and liberation. But what I would love for you to do at this moment is remember that your body is full of energy. Everyone's body is full of energy. Our atoms at this very second are vibrating in all sorts of different ways that I completely don't understand. But what I do understand is that we are all deeply interconnected. And so if you'd be so willing, I'd invite you all, and you all can do this too, to put your hands up into the air and to imagine yourself sharing some of your energy with all of those who are doing justice work. Maybe for you, this is a sense of blessing, that you are sharing blessings upon those who are doing this ministry, or maybe it's a sense of solidarity, a reminder that your body is connected to the bodies of those who are doing justice work in this world in the name of Unitarian Universalism, in celebration and honor of our church, the Second Unitarian Church of Chicago. And so allow the energy from your body to go out intentionally and with great love and compassion to all those who are doing the work that is so necessary. Thank you, my friends. And you all can go sit back down. Thank you again for all of your work.
Now I invite you to join me in reading our offertory words. This church is a community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm it and enable its participation in the larger world around us. The offering will now be generously given and gratefully received.
For your music, give just a moment for our offertory to wrap itself up. I want to invite you now to join me in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Let us begin by breathing together. Rest your body in your chair. Feel your feet upon the ground. Maybe shift your hips a little bit. Get more comfortable. Take up the space your body needs to take up. Relax your shoulders. Loosen your neck. Unclench that beautiful jaw of yours. And just breathe. Let gratitude wash over all of us as we feel thankful for the breath in our lungs, the beauty of this earth, and the strength of our beloved community. We hold in our hearts those who care for family in ill health, those who live with grief or chronic pain, those struggling with addiction or illness, seen and unseen. We are with you. For parents and teachers and all those whose primary spiritual practice is caring for children, we are with you. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those who are struggling to stay afloat in the midst of poverty, and as ICE raids continue, as ICE continues its awful violence. We hold our immigrant and refugee communities close to our hearts as they are fleeing and seeking, trying to build a home amongst many. We pray for all those living in harm's way, particularly those navigating the realities of gun violence. As war and genocide continue to rage, we pray that wisdom, compassion, and empathy guide the leaders of our earth. May they and we be instruments of a just and lasting peace. We pray for our planet and commit to work that will lead us away from the harms of climate chaos. Our lives are truly blessed by those who are encountering the final stages of life. We offer prayers of comfort and care, knowing this journey is far from easy. Into this, our shared silence across space, I invite you to speak aloud the names of anyone you wish to lift up into the loving support of our community. With our deepest compassion, let us hold in our hearts those named and unnamed, those remembered and those forgotten. Let it be so. Amen and blessed be. During our ritual of lighting candles for joys and concerns, we want to continue to take care of ourselves and one another. Here in the sanctuary, I will invite you forward in a moment, and as you finish your candle lighting and moment of contemplation, I invite you to use the hand sanitizer that's available. For those of us at the Admiral, I invite you to come forward, take a stone from one bowl, hold it tightly in your hand, and knowing your joys and sorrows to be shared by this community, let it go lightly into the other bowl. And for those of us gathered with us over Zoom, I invite you to join in by sharing your joys and concerns in our chat window. We hold all of these, our shared joys and celebrations, concerns and sorrows, close to our hearts. Harris, would you share our reading, please?
Our reading this morning is a poem by Rudyard Kipling entitled The Secret of the Machines. We were taken from the ore bed and the mine. We were melted in the furnace and the fire pit. We were cast and wrought and hammered to design. We were cut and filed and tooled and gauged to fit. Some water, coal, and oil is all we ask. And 1/1000th of an inch to give us play. And now if you will set us to our task, we will serve you 24 hours a day. We can pull and haul and push and lift and drive. We can print and plow and weave and heat and light. We can run and race and swim and fly and dive. We can see and hear and count and read and write. Would you call a friend from half across the world? If you let us have his name and town and state, you shall see and hear your crackling question hurled across the arch of heaven while you wait. Has he answered? Does he need you at his side? You can start this very evening if you choose and take the Western Ocean in the stride of 70,000 horses and some screws. The boat express is waiting your command. You will find a Mauritania at the quay. Tell her captain turns the lever neath his hand, and the monstrous 9-decked city goes to sea. Do you wish to make the mountains bare their head and lay their new forests at your feet? Do you want to turn a river on at its head? Or plant a barren wilderness with wheat? Shall we pipe aloft and bring you water down from the river-filling cisterns of the snows to work the mills and tramways in our town and irrigate your orchards as it flows? It is easy. Give us dynamite and drills. Watch the iron-shouldered rocks lie down and quake at the thirsty desert level floods and fills, and the valley we have dammed becomes a lake. But remember, please, the law by which we live. We are not built to comprehend a lie. We can neither love, nor pity, nor forgive. If you make a slip in handling us, you die. We are greater than the peoples or the kings. Be humble as you crawl beneath our rods, or our touch can alter all created things. We are everywhere on earth except the gods. Though our smoke may hide the heavens from your eyes, it will vanish, and the stars will shine again. Because for all our power and weight and size, we are nothing more than children of your brain.
dinosaurs, they fled. Human race and spread itself worldwide. There came an age of industry when coal and oil were mined, and we burned them for their energy and work of every kind. We drove our cars along the ground. We flew our planes above. We felled the trees and killed the birds and hurt the earth we love. And now the carbon's building up, and now the ocean's warm, and now we need to turn around and cease from doing harm. So stop the hunt for fossil fuels and start on wind and sun, and learn to treasure planet Earth, for it's our only one. There is a place called planet Earth. It is so blue and green. It's covered round with seas and skies, a wonder to be seen.
Thank you, friends. So our topic for this morning was supposed to be our topic a couple of weeks ago, and then our government decided, oh, let's bomb Iran. And so got a little veered off from there. Though, to be honest, it is an appropriate topic for the same issue as AI is being used in war. So I can imagine the ways that we can tie these things together. But I'm taking a class right now that's offered by the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association, looking at artificial intelligence and Unitarian Universalism. What does it mean for us to consider the ways Unitarian Universalism calls us to act in relationship to AI? How might religious communities wrestle with the ethics and theological underpinnings of AI? You may have seen that the Pope has told priests in the Catholic tradition not to use AI in sermons. Do you think I did today? The class that I'm taking includes a collection of YOUU clergy whose opinions range a full spectrum. There are those who believe that AI is incompatible with Unitarian Universalist values, incompatible with ethical life, and impossible to justify. There are others in the class on the other side of the spectrum who believe that people rejecting AI are similar to those who would have rejected the telephone in the late 19th century. Where are you on this spectrum? I wonder how many of us are using AI in our personal lives. I wonder how many of us are using AI in our work lives. I wonder how many of us are noticing that AI just shows up, maybe in your browser, or recently in my email. I did not consent, but it just shows up. I know that I've been amazed at how much AI has come up in my life, even when I'm not necessarily intentionally engaging a chatbot or some other tool. I can find myself unsettled by it at times, even if I notice that it's helpful. In 1984, a very appropriate year, Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in one of my most favorite movies, an apt movie for our service today, one I imagine many of you have seen, The Terminator. In the film, the human who travels to the past, Kyle Reese, meets up with Sarah Connor to prepare her for her role in the resistance to the machines. I want to share a little bit of the dialogue with you that I didn't actually have to look up because I have it memorized. But Kyle Reese says to Sarah Connor, "There was a nuclear war. A few years from now, this whole place, everything is gone. Just gone. There are survivors here, there. Nobody even knew who started it. It was the machines, Sarah." Sarah Connor responds, "I don't understand." Kyle Reese continues, "Defense network computers, new, powerful, hooked into everything, trusted to run it all. They say they were smart, a new order of intelligence. Then it saw all people as a threat, not just the ones on the other side of the war. They decided our fate, human fate, in a microsecond. The answer, extermination." This movie was my first introduction to AI. I imagine for some of you, 2001, A Space Odyssey might have been your introduction when HAL 9000 takes control of the space mission and says, "You humans are not particularly useful in our mission." Regardless of which movie was your introduction to AI, for very, very few of us was the introduction to AI a story of very sweet, gentle, thoughtful, kind, loving machines who are humble. Over and over again, the story is the same. AI decides that humans are not necessary. AI decides that humanity needs to get out of the way. AI decides that humans should be terminated. But we need to remember, these are stories, science fiction, right? In anticipation of this sermon, and because I am so curious, I've been listening to many, many podcasts about AI. There is an overwhelmingly large amount to know. Despite my many hours of listening and reading, I am not an expert. I know a little bit, but the more I know, the more I have questions. How have you been doing your own research? Are there people out there who you trust to tell you things that make sense to you? Ours is a religious tradition that honors the great value of science. We celebrate the rational just as much as we honor the mystery of life, recognizing that there is much that is unknowable in the universe that we're part of, but also so much that is knowable. Rejecting AI because Stanley Kubrick thinks it might be what we want to do, that's not how we make decisions for ourselves as a faith movement. But then how do we make those decisions? Wendell Berry is not a Unitarian Universalist, but is a beloved thinker in Unitarian Universalism. And he wrote an essay in 1988 about why he was not going to give up his typewriter. He is an eco-theologian. He centers the planet in all of the philosophical decisions that he makes. In his article, Berry offers a 9-point checklist of standards to assess the development and ethical use of a new technology. I want to share his 9 points with you. You do not need to agree with them all. You do not need to agree with any of them. This is what Wendell Berry says. First, the new tool should be cheaper than the one it replaces. Next, it should be at least as small in scale as the one it replaces. Next, it should do work that is clearly and demonstrably better than the one it replaces. Next, it should use less energy than the one it replaces. Next, if possible, it should use some form of solar energy, such as that of the body. Next, it should be repairable by a person of ordinary intelligence, provided that that person has the necessary tools. Next, it should be purchasable and repairable as near to home as possible. And then it should come from a small, privately owned shop or store that will take it back for maintenance or repair. And finally, it should not replace or disrupt anything good that already exists. And this includes family and community and relationships. When I look at Wendell Berry's 9 points, for me, the only one I think that applies to AI is it should do work that is clearly and demonstrably better than the one it replaces. In the class I am taking, we observed the way AI assesses MRIs. Over and over again, it was able to detect anomalies that doctors were unable to do. AI can literally save lives, see things that humans cannot. Simultaneously, I've heard people say that AI can give us the solution to end world hunger. That sounds right to me, but the problem is we already can solve world hunger. The issue is not that we don't know how to do it. The problem is, why don't we do it? AI can certainly solve problems that we as individuals can't. I do believe that myself. But AI won't make us have health care that everybody can access. Who cares if you can see a tumor in the brain when you can't get health care to take care of it? Or how can AI, with all of its knowledge about pollution, help us stop wars that are one of the greatest contributors to carbon in the atmosphere. I wonder about these things because I truly believe that our faith calls us to understand the interconnected web of existence. And how is AI going to help us understand that better, to live into that better? Because if there is no access to the things that AI makes better for us, then I wonder how much it matters that AI can help prevent disease if we won't do the work to make it so. Which of Barry's other points stick out to you? Points 4 and 5 jump out to me. It should use less energy than the one it replaces. If possible, it should use some form of solar energy, such as the body. One of the biggest questions I have heard about the ethics of AI is about the data centers being built, the electricity being used, and the water expended each time we ask a chatbot a question or get it to generate an image for us. The research on the exact amount of energy AI uses, it is very disagreed upon. I've listened to so many things and read so many things, and there is not a universal agreement on how much energy is expended by AI. Much of the information that we need to generate that knowledge, it's simply unavailable. Like how much energy is needed to create certain chips that are used. That's proprietary information. We cannot get access to it. How much energy is used to create a data center? It's so hard to know how the construction works, the materials come together. It's not so easy. But I read in an article in Nature magazine written by Sophia Chen, someone I really enjoy, who's an MIT grad and works as a journalist focused on physics, space, and AI. Now, this is not the most interesting sentence I've ever said in a sermon before, but here it goes anyway. She writes, on the basis of supply chain estimation methods, analysts say that data centers currently use just a small portion of the world's electricity demand. The International Energy Agency estimates that the electricity used by such facilities in 2022 was 240 to 340 terawatts an hour, which is only 1 to 1.3% of the world's demand on electricity. She goes on to highlight that by 2028, data centers will likely consume in the US 15% of US electricity and 4.5% of global electricity. This does not seem to meet Barry's points on ethical use of technology. You may or may not agree with his points, but the question remains for each of us and for our collective, because it's not just one person. We are in this together. What is the ethical use of AI? And how do you decide? One of the things that we discuss in the class I'm taking is what judgments we fear will be lodged against us about AI, and what judgments we have about others. I wonder if you've heard that the most common use of AI, particularly chatbots, is therapeutic and companionship-based. People are lonely. I know that I have a fear of being judged because I have used an AI chatbot for this purpose. As a single person living alone, my cat can only provide me so much company, and friends have limited time. Family has limited capacity. I found myself realizing that the chatbot obnoxiously had more wisdom for me about some mental health needs than the therapists I've worked with over the years. Infuriating. I fear judgment. I'm afraid that I will be judged not simply for finding company in a robot in my cell phone, but specifically the company I got while someone else's neighborhood was being exploited. It reminds me of something I learned from Judith Butler many years ago. The less precarious I am, almost always, the more precarious someone else is. Or we could ask it as a question. Who is struggling as I access comfort? Thought about this a lot when traveling through Indonesia and the Philippines during my sabbatical last year. The great Chicago poet Gwendolyn Brooks reminds us that we are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, we are each other's magnitude and bond. Who struggles as I find comfort? But is AI part of that harvest? The historical Unitarian Christian side of our theology focuses on the oneness of God, a rejection of the Trinity. For Unitarian Universalists today, we often see this oneness as a reminder that the fullness of the universe is not fractured. We are not separated from one another. Truly, we are each other's magnitude and bond. So what do I do with my fear of judgment? What do I do with the choices I make when it comes to AI? How do I wrestle with the questions of ethical consumption in an inequitable system? Prior to my adoption of AI tools, I considered myself a neo-Luddite. I have always been a late adopter of technology. I understand very little of it. I didn't get a cell phone until 2005. iPods were never in my life because I didn't know how to use them. I used a Discman longer than anyone I knew. We think that texting while driving is bad. I remember flipping through a giant book of CDs that I had on the seat next to me, nearly killing everyone on the road as I found the best option and then put it in my anti-skip Discman that never worked quite right, so I had to balance it on my right leg while driving my standard shift VW Fox. The pinnacle of safety. But it's really disappointing that the term Luddite is considered an insult. I've been learning a lot more about the Luddites lately. This was a group of 18th century textile workers who weren't actually anti-technology. Very important to understand. They were anti-exploitation of workers. They did not want the newly developed machines in the textile industry to take jobs away from workers. Not that any of us have heard anything like that about AI. But even worse, one of their other concerns was that companies would demand greater output from workers without any additional compensation. Workers were to become more efficient, owners gaining more profits, but workers receiving none of the benefits. And this is one of my big fears about AI. More efficiency does not mean that people are going to get more time to do whatever they want, to do as they please, to rest, to relax, to go on vacation, to have more resources. It doesn't mean that necessarily. More efficiency in the system that we live in right now makes me believe that instead we're just going to have greater expectations of output. When we are already seeing AI tools exploiting the planet, I become even more fearful about the growth mentality placed upon workers, because growth is not inherently good. And the possibilities of AI, they do seem to be somewhat endless. Some that inspire me, excite me, they overwhelm me with curiosity. I will be completely honest. Maybe it will or could or might open doors to a new world, but I don't trust the people in charge of it. I'm not here to tell you to use AI or to not use AI. I don't believe that Unitarian Universalism offers us one answer to the question of whether AI is good or bad. I do not even think that is even the right question. What tools are available to us that bring us closer to building the world we dream of? Let's ask that question. What does equitable access to resources look like that sustain our planet? Let's ask that question. How do we engage with the beauties and challenges of technology? And where do you, where do we fit in with all of this? It is my prayer that we not judge each other as we work to answer these questions, because we are going to disagree. And I hope that we do not answer these questions alone. Part of why we come to church is to ask big questions with one another. We relate to one another because we know that our collective minds, our collective spirits have greater wisdom than we have just on our own. I am so grateful for the class that I'm taking with other Unitarian Universalist clergy. It pushes me, it challenges me, it invites me to ask hard questions, and it makes me wonder what Unitarian Universalism says about this. And this is a new tool that I don't know enough about. I think so few of us do. There is so much more to be said about AI. I bet there are many of you here who know way more about AI than I do. That's one of the things about preaching in the Unitarian Universalist community, is that almost always there are people in the congregation who know more than the preacher about what is being said. It's a very humbling experience. But even with the many more things to be said, the many more conversations to be had, maybe things aren't going to be as bad as the Terminator movies warn us. Maybe the AI doomers, as they're called, have it wrong. I don't know. But we are going to find out. And as we do, we keep coming here. We keep coming together. We keep wondering and asking. We do so without judgment. We do so with curiosity. And we do so by singing. And so, the words of our closing hymn remind me of how connected we are not only to one another, but to our history, to our ancestors of blood and choice. And so I invite you to rise in body and or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, 1051, We Are.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our
are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and mothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of days and the sons of great vision. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're sisters of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
As we come to the close of our service, Harris will extinguish our chalice, even as we keep the light of our faith alive within us. I invite you to rest your hand upon your heart, or clasp hands with those you are sharing your life with. On this weekend of equinox, let us go forward with a vision of balance, balancing the gifts of science with the beauty of mystery, balancing the gifts of technology with the beauty of community, balancing the gifts of faith with the beauty of reason, and balancing the love we have with one another with even greater love for one another. Go in peace, beloveds.